Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Cardano Podcast. I'm Ryan Morrison, your host, and today we'll be talking about the future of Cardano, and not just the future in the coming months or weeks. We'll be talking about the long-term future for Cardano in the coming 5 to 10 years and even beyond. There was an interesting interview with Charles Hoskingson that I'll be playing to you in a few seconds from now, where he goes and talks specifically on how he envisions Cardano being used in the long term. So that's very interesting to see. But before we get to that, I'd like to also share with you some news. So far, the Cardano podcast was only on YouTube, and I got a lot of good feedback from the Cardano community, and many of those users or fellow Cardanians were asking for the podcast to be on Spotify and on Apple Podcast as well. So now it is available on Spotify. So from today on, you can also listen to the Cardano podcast on Spotify. Other platforms will come very soon as well. And if you're watching this on YouTube, and please give us a thumbs up so more people can know about the Cardano podcast and the community can grow bigger and bigger. If you want us to interview your project and for in another episode, please contact us also on directly on YouTube or on the Cardano podcast itself. Okay, now we're gonna go and I'll put you the interview so that you can listen.
A digital payment method is...
Sorry, the interview was done by Adam Stokes on his channel on YouTube, and we'll be listening to what I mentioned before, what Charles thinks the future for Cardano would look like. And this is a very interesting exercise for us members of the community to do for ourselves as well. How do we see? We kind of know some verticals and some industries like finance, but there's so many others, so many other industries, so many other use cases where Cardano could be used to decentralize that particular industry. So without further ado, let's go and listen to what Charles had to say about the coming 5 to 10 years for Cardano.
But when we look at Goguen as an example, going back to Cardano, so Goggen's your focus for the launch in February, but beyond Goguen, let's say in 5 to 10 years, where do you see Cardano being used most?
Well, I'd hope we'd have 100 million or 200 million, perhaps more African users, and lots in Eastern Europe and lots in Southeast Asia. And it's the day-to-day platform for a financial operating system. Your land registration's on it. You're getting loans on it. You're communicating with your friends and family with it. You're doing payments with it. You're securitizing your business with it and raising money with it. You're running your country's stock market on it. You're running your national elections on it. I would love to see Cardano do that within 5 or 10 years. And I actually think it's possible, especially for countries that are in the market for new systems, where they're actively trying to change. With Georgia, for example, the way we've structured everything, it's very likely that within the next 5 years, every university diploma in that country issued will by default be verified and validated by the Cardano blockchain. So every one of those students, that's normal for them. And then we can extend that to the national payment system, the track and tracing of tourism, 1,000 different things, tax collection. That can be normal for them. And it's really not that hard once your foot is in the door to start adding layers to that system. So I think we have a real good shot for Cardano to provide that. And what's nice is you have natural utility and demand then. You'll have organically, as a consequence of these systems, billions of transactions every single day. And the way the economics are built in Cardano, that creates sustainability, because you no longer need inflation to compensate the stake pool operators or the treasury system. The transaction fees alone will be valuable enough to actually cover the day-to-day operations of the system. So you have built in a growth engine that will continue paying VC to grow the system and continue capturing markets. And then you have another positive feedback loop that pays for more and more competition to run more and more infrastructure to make the system more decentralized. And with Hydra and other technology we've been investing in, we're going from a replicated to distributed system. So as we add more competition, instead of just getting more security, you also get more scale. So that's the magic of the protocols we've had. We figured out a way to get demand through public-private partnerships and getting these new governments on board. And that demand will generate organically billions of dollars of value, which translates to sustainability and growth of the system. And so we have a positive feedback loop that'll just keep going and going and going. And then we're wired into the academies, so we have a decentralized brain. Regardless of what happens to me, you have hundreds of scientists all around the world waking up every day, working full-time for Cardano and writing protocols for Cardano. So you have all these young, renewable, faceless minds. Doesn't matter where they're from. They can be Mongolia, or they can be Eritrea, they can be, America, writing protocols. And so you're always innovating, and you're innovating at a scale that no other company can innovate at, no other, blockchain can innovate at. So we'll always have a scientific and protocol advantage, especially as we deal with more and more complex problems over every other system. That's my hope.
The example of.
So this was very interesting to hear. I've heard, of course, and I'm sure you guys also have heard Charles Hoskingson talking about the future of Cardano for Africa, the future of Cardano as the base for decentralized applications in the future. But I thought this interview in particular was really interesting because he gets most on detail on the different use cases. He mentioned Georgia as an example of and with using blockchain technology and Cardano's decentralized technology, particularly in the universities, so you can tokenize your certificates and your diplomas and put them on the blockchain. And he gave also some other examples. We also know that in Ethiopia, or in other African countries as well, the idea is to start very soon with an application for personal identification using Cardano's blockchain, and that ties a bit with what Charles said at the beginning, with adding tens or hundreds of millions of users in the Cardano ecosystem. That's a question that many stake pools operators had. I've seen also in the Cardano forum is, how does the future look like for us when how are we going to be compensated? And also, this interview gives you a clue on Cardano, of course, is looking at increasing, of course, all the transactions that will happen on the platform. The more transactions, the more data is to be paid to the different stake pool operators in the network. So then the system becomes more secure and bigger as well, because there's new pool operators that would like to join the network. He talks also a bit about scalability. And beyond that, I thought it was a very interesting for us also as members of the Cardano community, to think on how does this long-term future look like on Cardano. And a very good way to do that, if you have ideas on how which things do you think should be part of that new future, you can put those ideas on Project Catalyst on cardano.ideascale.com. So other members of the community can vote for your idea or project, and then they can fund your project. So then it's basically a decentralized way of creating projects for the Cardano. It could be decentralized apps, or if you don't even have to be a developer, and this is something that many people think, is that you have to be a programmer in order to be part of the Cardano community, and that's not the case. I've also interviewed members of different teams that are that have the projects on Catalyst, and many of these members are designers or have or are into communications or in project management, but they don't know how to code, and that's fine, because the whole idea of the community is that you get together, and then you can find also in the forum, you can find maybe if you share your ideas or your projects, you can also convince other that have technical or knowledge that know how to code on Bluetooth, for example, so they can join your idea. You can be part of the future of Cardano, this future that we were talking about today. So this is a short episode. I just wanted to share this with you because I think it's a very interesting exercise that we should always be doing also for ourselves, and look at how the next 5 to 10 years look like. And if we want to be part of that bright future, we can start right now, right here, by sending our proposals to Project Catalyst and getting funded for it. So that's it for today, guys. There are new interviews with members of different projects of Project Catalyst, and they'll will be in the next episodes of the Cardano podcast. So thank you very much, and I hope I'll see you in the next episodes. Cheers. Bye-bye.